Have you ever seen a pigeon carrying a sword? In this video, you will. Hey, welcome back! And if you're new to the channel, I'm Jay and this is Lunar Tarot, where I bring you weekly tarot and oracle deck reviews to inspire readings. Also with cameo appearance of Dr. Meatnik right in the corner, quietly observing and probably judging. Who knows? The deck I'll be showing you today is the Unifying Consciousness Tarot, which I believe was a Kickstarter project originally. When I saw it online, I was a little bit confused because packaging reminded me of the contact lenses that I use. But the artwork on this is intriguing. Let's have a look at this together. So the Unifying Consciousness Tarot comes in this nice box. It's from Red Feather publisher, and I think it's quite boutique when it comes to tarot decks. I haven't seen a lot from them. I do have one, I think, from them. And these two examples cards, we'll have a look at them. This is an extra card, by the way. So a really nice print. It's a bit of a shine to it, I would say, but it's not embossed. And this one is embossed. Now, remember I mentioned to you that it does remind me of the contact lenses. Look, I didn't make it up, right? It opens in the same way as my trusted dailies. But jokes aside, the packaging is much better than the box of my contacts. Inside you have this blue rose, and meaning of a blue rose, well, they're not naturally occurring color, and this is something that you need to ascend to get the same quality of something unique you need to work on with your consciousness. That's the idea behind it. And the eye there is representing, I guess, the third eye or consciousness. We'll have a look at the book when we do a test reading here. I'm sure you're excited about that. Now, deck shuffles quite nice. They do fall out occasionally, but overall, I think it's quite good. And it's probably because they have this matte finish, so they don't really glide that much in your hands and they don't pop up. There's a bit of a gilding here, but it's not really gilding. It's sort of like a matte powdery coating here. And as you can see, it started wearing out already, even with the small use that I had. And on the back of the card, there's a flower of life. I want to say it's embossed because it's got this little shine to it, as you can see. And now we've got a little blue rose in the middle of the eye there. Now, while the deck shuffles really well with overhand shuffling, the riffle shuffle is also not bad, but because the cards are significantly thicker, the overhand shuffling can be a little bit challenging. Just give you an example here. So this is my Radiant Tarot deck, and this is how it compares next to this deck. So you get almost extra 1/3 of card thickness, and that makes it a little bit difficult to shuffle. Not too much, but still there. Also, the card quality, I riffle shuffled this deck just a couple of times, but look at this. It already started bending. And that's a problem with cardstock that I found here. The cards are quite thick, but at the same time, they don't really have much structural integrity. So this deck has been through so many things and it still holds really well. Like you can see the cards, they're not bendy. Where this guy, after maybe 5-6 riffle shuffles, it's already had this arc here. Now the chord cards have been restructured. So for pages you have the Soul of Swords. Remember I promised you a flying pigeon with a sword. There's one here, and there's a lot of sacred geometry you will see. The knights were replaced with spirits. The queen is the heart, and the king is mind. When it comes to artwork, it's a bit of a deconstructed imagery. I'll give you an example here. So this is a strength card and this is a strength card. You see what happened here? So you still have the infinity sign there, and there's also a lion, though the woman is sort of in the back with a rose, right? It's kind of funny as well. It looks like the lion is wearing lemniscate, like glasses. Some of those cards made me chuckle a little bit. And basically the way I see every card has been deconstructed, and you can still make the traditional RWS imagery from it, but it's not always easy. Speaking of cards that I really like in this deck, I'll give you this example here. I do like this card. It took me a while to figure out what's happening here, and it's got a double meaning here. First, this is the feather you're probably thinking, what's the connection here? There is a red feather on the Fool's hat in RWS right here. And there's also a dog. Now, interesting thing, when I was looking at it thinking, what does it actually mean? Well, these cards, by the looks of it, they come from a first-person view, as if I am the fool who is looking at my dog and that feather is right there. So this card sort of places you in the middle of action in a very intriguing way. And there's a double meaning of the red feather here. It's a quiet nod to the red feather publisher. Quite unique, isn't it? Now, this deconstruction of RWS imagery follows you throughout the deck. This is a High Priestess card, right? And this is the same one from RWS. So the High Priestess is still there, but there's not much left of her body. We can see the eyes, and these pomegranate symbols are still there. The moon, the face is still there, but it's more of all these most important elements have been picked out and placed here. Whether you can see them or not, it really depends if you know the traditional imagery. If you do, then it's perfect. If you don't, this card could mean very, very many different things to you. I'll show you some other cards that I quite like in this deck. Magician is a little bit puzzling, and I cannot figure this card out. I understand the symbolism with the snake, but I don't see these elemental signs that are traditionally present with the magician lying on his table. The Empress is another deconstructed image. You can make out some of the elements of the RWS card. I do like this card here, Dolphins. This is a 10 of Cups. This is a happiness, and it does look like a very happy card. There's no family here present, but I guess this is a family of dolphins here representing the same thing, and the rainbow. And this is an extra card, the Activation. So I think it's still kind of like a Tower card, but this symbolizes here the awakened consciousness. One of the advantages of this deck is that it's not using Roman numerals. And I quite like that they use just the Arabic ones, easy to understand, right? But here comes a problem. Look at this. And this is not a Major Arcana card. This is the Four of Swords. The Minor Arcana has the same numbering here as a Major Arcana. In fact, all of the cards will have numbers here. And because the artwork doesn't really emphasize the suit symbol right away, it takes you a couple of moments to figure out what card this is. Like, can you tell here that this is Three of Pentacles? Only after you figure out these are actual coins. So it's not right away that you can figure out what you're looking at. And it's a really difficult task when you're trying to do the flip through video and trying to arrange cards in the right order. It takes a bit of time. I think if you play with this deck, you'll probably get used to it, but this numbering here threw me off. I thought I had a whole bunch of Major Arcana cards in my deck. And by the way, if you would like to see all of the deck, there is a flip through at the end of this video. Now, one thing that surprised me is despite the abstract artwork, the cards read really well. I tested it with shadow work, the ancestral message, relationships, career. I tested it with emotional clarity and life path and spiritual cleansing and manifesting, and it fared really well in all of them, which I found quite surprising. And let's do a test together so you'll see how it actually works. Let's do a 3-card reading together. It's going to be general self-reflection with 3 cards. What's present in my life? What do I need to focus on? And what shift is approaching? So Heart of Pentacles, this is the Queen of Pentacles. What's present in my life is abundance and a feeling of having strong foundations. What I need to focus on? Well, it looks like I need to develop the feeling that I have enough and I do belong. And this is more of an inner work that it's pointing to. And what shift is approaching is alleviating anxiety, becoming more calmer and more secure in how I feel about life. Let's see what the book tells us about this. And this is the guidebook that it came with. Quite a nice quality, thick guidebook. It's color print as well. It's a bit of a history here on how this idea came about, the author meeting the person they collaborated with on the markets. And you also get the structure of the cards, including the activation card, which we're going to have a look in a second. So the Heart of Pentacles, you are the Earth Mother. You instinctively know what people need to grow and flourish, and you provide in generosity. I'm just going to skip to the meaning here. Nature and the physical world delight and sustain you. Of all the Pentacles folk, you most of all understand that our time on earth is finite and there is a wisdom in the cycle of life, death and rebirth. You use your time well and appreciate the pleasures that your five senses provide. And I can tell you this is exactly how I feel right now. I understand that life is finite. With getting older and understanding that you need to use your time with some purpose. Also, the independence feeling, definitely something I value quite a lot. Also, which card comes with activation. To me, it's more of the affirmation that you can probably use these cards for if you pull the card and you use one of these. Now, what do I need to focus on? Are you feeling like a ghost floating around in your town life? Are you moving through the world unseen, suffering hardship and loss, disconnected from others who aren't understanding? So I would say that how these two connect, this is probably more about the feeling of not belonging, of not having enough. And there's some guidance here. Seek assistance during a time of spiritual crisis. Call upon your spirit guides, consult your higher self or your loved ones in spirit. If your world has become unstable due to financial challenges, look for community support, helping institutions and experienced professionals. So it's quite nice. It's not just giving you the meaning of a card, but also gives you some advice. What do I do next with what I just pulled out? Now, finally, what shift is approaching? Thoughts and memories keep you awake at night. They're flying around your mind, picking and cawing, disturbing your sleep. In this surreal place of fatigue fueled by adrenaline, perspective flies out a window. So this is a nightmare of anxiety. Worries become larger than life. Stop torturing yourself and take a breath. You can't change the past and you can't control the future. Right now, you're okay. It's difficult to see things clearly when you are in a cloud and regret about what happened and anxious about what might happen. Bring these thoughts into the light and take away their power. Activation. I ask for help when I need it. I quite like that the guidebook includes some specific steps you can take, so it can be an oracle card. And also, I think this is where the author was saying it's suitable for beginners, because if you know nothing about RWS, you grab this and you start learning from scratch. Yes, it can be useful for beginners, and I wouldn't call it beginner friendly still, just because of imagery. It's quite often it's hard to tell what it means, like here. But at the same time, the guidebook really can take you through an understanding of a card. What do I actually do with this image, rather than just, okay, it means anxiety. What does it mean for me? Where do I go next? I'm giving this deck 3.5 paws on the cat mirror. The cards read really well in different types of settings and it's quite versatile. The artwork is stunning and provoking. I think a lot of thinking went into it. And the box comes really nice, sturdy packaging and a guidebook. Now on the downside, I think the cardstock could have been a little bit better. And the idea of universal consciousness symbolism sometimes can be a little bit confusing. I would also say that numbering of minor arcana adds to the whole complexity here. Overall, a really decent deck with a niche appeal, and if you like Kickstarter project originally and missed out on getting it, this is probably a good time to get one of these. So what do you think of this deck? Do you like it? Hate it? Do you have one of those already? Let me know in the description below. And this is it for today. If you got something out of it, feel free to subscribe, and if you would like to support what I do, you can buy me a coffee or support me through an affiliate link. You can find all the details in the description. Thank you for watching and enjoy the flip through.